So every team avatar that we've seen in the series so far is made completely of powerful, fun, kind, and heroic characters. Very rarely do any of them come with just a bit of edge to them. So I got to thinking, what if there existed an evil team avatar to be pitted against a good one? Like what if we had a team avatar that was made up of only the truly worst and most evil characters of all time? Characters like Azula, Sahir, Hama, and anyone else that is just downright evil. Like, could you imagine such a team existing in the current Avatar universe? They'd be potentially the most overpowered team of all time. So for fun, we're going to go through and take a swing at crafting such a team. We'll be going through the vast number of villains in both series and taking only the truly worst from both of them and placing them into their own team avatar. And hopefully by the end of the video, we have a team avatar so powerful and scary that even Aang and Korra would fear fighting them. So without wasting any more time, let's begin with who will lead this insanely broken team. Because of course, we have a lot of potential possibilities, such as Fire Lord Sozin, Ozai, or even Azula. All are immensely evil and strong, and they've of course already been shown in one way or another to be incredible leaders, such as how Sozin led the Fire Nation to erase an airbending from the universe for over 100 years, or how Azula single-handedly orchestrated the coup in the Earth Kingdom's capital, Ba Sing Se, and also how she halted the invasion on the Day of the Black Sun. And who can forget how Ozai of course didn't actually do much in the overall series, but was one hell of a firebender overall, even being named potentially the strongest firebender to ever exist. So he's cool enough to be on the list of potential leaders, I guess. And if we're also including powerful leaders from the other nations, then Aang just has to be in the conversation. Like, his mastery over bloodbending is second to none. And with him at the head of the Equalist movement, they very nearly achieved everything they desired. He's also immensely smart and powerful, and honestly next to the Avatar themselves, he may actually be the strongest bender of all time. But now, which of these powerful leaders is best suited to lead the most evil team Avatar to ever exist? Well, despite my biased ass wanting Aang to lead our group, there really is only one option that makes the most sense going forward, and that's someone that we have yet to mention. It's Unalaq / Fatu. You know, the only true evil avatar in the series to date. So yeah, in my opinion, the leader that makes the most sense, even despite me not wanting to pick them, is the only evil avatar that currently exists in the series so far. Unalaq / Fatu. But now moving on, we will of course need a waterbender on this incredible team. And this is where things get really interesting, because honestly, waterbending has potentially the most amount of overpowered and evil characters in the series. And for a series where the Fire Nation was supposed to be the bad guys, that really says a lot. Like, for evil waterbenders, we have the likes of Hama, the first bloodbender, Yakone, the man who almost killed Aang, and my personal favourite, Aang, the guy we just talked about. All are incredibly broken water and bloodbenders, and them joining the team would be enough to scare anyone, including Aang and Korra. But alas, we can only take one, and it must be someone who not only works well with Unalaq, but also someone who could potentially be called the most evil waterbender of all time. And honestly, in my opinion, it's a no-brainer. Like, we've just got to go with the guy that many believe is potentially the strongest bender outside of the Avatar themselves. That's right, the waterbender on our evil team avatar will be Aang, the psychic bloodbender who even had the power to remove Korra's bending altogether. So yeah, Aang takes the waterbending slot on this incredible team, and I don't think many of you would actually argue against that decision. But now quickly moving on, we are looking for a powerful and evil earthbender to join this already quite overpowered team. And right off the bat, one name quickly jumps out at me. It's Ghazan. Ghazan was an earthbending master, fugitive, and member of the Red Lotus. He was sent to jail by the Order of the White Lotus for attempting to kidnap Avatar Korra. He's extremely powerful and dangerous, being one of only a few earthbenders to have been shown with the extremely rare ability of lava bending. His level of earthbending is second to none, and his level of destructiveness is just what this already broken team needs from their earthbender. So he joins the others and increases this team's level of evil and power tenfold. But now moving on, we are in desperate need of a powerful firebender on this team. And it would have to be someone who could not only go toe-to-toe with Zuko from Aang's team, but also Mako from Korra's. And right from the start, I'm looking at a character with potentially the most perfect form of firebending to ever exist. It's Azula. Because Azula is not only irredeemably evil, but also extremely powerful. Like, some still argue to this day whether or not she's actually more powerful than the likes of Ozai himself. But that's not all, as she's also incredibly intelligent. Because as we mentioned earlier, she was the one who single-handedly orchestrated a coup in the Earth Kingdom's capital, Ba Sing Se, a kingdom with a name that literally means impenetrable city. Meaning by penetrating and taking it over, she once again basically did the impossible. But somehow, even after all of that and everything that she had done for her nation, her dad still never recognized her strength. Like, it's really not hard to understand why she went insane in the end. Ozai was a bit of a dick, but aside from being a bit of a dick of a dad, he is most definitely a contender for the firebending slot on this list. because his power is undeniable, being one of the few to actually manage to stand his ground in combat against the Avatar themselves. Sure, it was a 12-year-old Avatar with only a few months of training under his belt, but still, very impressive to say the least. He's also someone who's been credited in the series to be the strongest firebender of all time. Though that title does come into question just a little bit when the gang go to Uncle Iroh for help fighting him, saying things like he's the only one strong enough to beat Ozai in place of Aang. So can we really claim Ozai is the strongest firebender of all time, or does that title belong to Uncle Iroh? I don't know, you tell me. Is Iroh stronger than Ozai? Because as an older brother myself, I would have to say yes. Like, I could never imagine losing to my little brother. I've got my pride on the line at the end of the day. But now, which of these two is the best to take that firebending slot? The scarily overpowered and slightly insane Azula? Or her dad, the man who got beat by a child with little to no real training? Well, I think the answer's obvious. We've just got to go with Azula, right? She's just so damn cool, in a run for your life or she will kill you kind of way. But now with her addition to the team, we are looking freakishly overpowered, and we're not even done yet, as we of course need a non-bender on this team. And this was honestly the hardest choice of them all, because what I realized is there really isn't all that many evil non-benders in the Avatar series. Like, I could think of like 3, and 2 of them aren't even that bad, just a bit misunderstood. Like, the 3 that I settled on was June, Jet, and Amon's lieutenant, the lieutenant. Like, you see what I mean? With the lack of any real bad non-benders, I landed on the likes of June and Jet. 2 characters that, aside from doing a couple of bad things in the series, aren't actually that bad overall. They're also nowhere near suited to be on a team with the likes of Amon or Azula. Like, June was just a bounty hunter, and Jet was just an angry kid with some minor issues. So scrapping both of them, that leaves us with Amon's most trusted lieutenant, the lieutenant. And of course, with his master already being on the team, he was the most logical choice overall. But aside from just being the logical choice, he's actually incredibly skilled in his own right. Being one of the most intense and disciplined fighters in all of Avatar, he is almost too much for many strong benders to handle. Like, not even one metal bending police officer was ever able to beat him in combat. He's incredibly strong and easily someone who could be considered the strongest non-bender of all time. So yeah, I just think the lieutenant is perfect for the position of non-bender on this incredible team. And with that, I think we're done. Here you have it, the most evil and potentially the most overpowered team Avatar that I think has ever been thought up. But what do you all think? Do you like it or do you hate it? Tell us down below. And while you're at it, why not tell us who's on your evil team Avatar? Is it similar to mine or completely different? Because honestly, I'm extremely curious to see what you've all thought up. But now, as always, if you've enjoyed, then please subscribe and like the video down below, as it helps us out a lot and I would really appreciate you taking the time to do so. But that's going to do it for me in this video. Have a great rest of your day or night wherever you are, and peace.